Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. And welcome to number 18 on the marathon list. God, I feel like I'm going through a semi religious experience with this. I think it's a sleep deprivation and just constantly being stuck to a screen and doing this. Why, oh, why? But we're getting closer. Oh, my God. Right. So we are talking about teeth. The premise is still a stranger to her own body. A high school student discovers she has a physical advantage when she becomes the object of male violence. I remember this one being advertised, and it was all, "Ooh, male will be terrified," and blah blah blah. So I sort of knew from the outset it was kind of an anti-man movie, but on watching it, it's a strange one. I really don't know how to feel about it. I don't think there's too much in it. It's a popcorn flick. A lot of characters are two-dimensional, so they're kind of plot devices more than characters. 7 left. 7 movies left. So I plan it'll be daylight, but I'm hoping to be done, lunchtime? Maybe around about lunchtime. I think this might just come to a head. Definitely before tea time anyway. I'll be finished tomorrow. 7 movies and get them knocked out, no bother. At this stage, there's no point giving up. Right, so we followed Dawn and get a scene when they're kids. And effectively what we'll have here is a blended family. So we've got the mother and father married, Bill and Kim, I believe it is, and they've got Bill has a son, Kim has a daughter, so now they become family. And they're toddlers in a paddling pool in the front of the house, and already we know Brad's a bit of a dipshit, and yeah, he's the first to discover that his stepsister has teeth because he's puts digits where digits aren't meant to go, and you need to be thinking about that age. But hey, let's skip forward a few years, and Dawn is giving a speech at this, what is it, purity church thing. So she's part of this purity group where they wear purity rings before marriage or something. It's part of all that, I think the debate here is the whole abstinence indulgence. Is teaching abstinence is a good idea, but then again, is being like a big whole bag the other. So we're kind of seeing both sides of the coin. So it's yin and yang. Dawn is the pure virginal wait to marriage, part of the like preaching to the choir sort of thing in these church groups. But then she has to go into high school and meet normal kids who ridicule her, etc. And then you've got her stepbrother Brad, who's just an absolute deviant. He's just shagging all around him. If it's the old saying is, get up at the crack of dawn. Chipping a plate. So he's got multiple girlfriends, but there's one he sort of has the whole way through it. But he's just an absolute arse. Just acting out all the time. Trying to be Mr. Metal tough guy kid sort of thing. He's got the Rottweiler, big tough guy, and it's just like it can be more two-dimensional. But Dawn's obviously the one this focuses on, and she's hanging out with her purity thing. Here's my issue with the whole abstinence crowd. All the talk about sex. It's the same as the fetish crowd. All the talk about sex, so it's the only thing in their mind. So therefore, it's the only one aspect of their personality. So the abstinence crowd, their whole personality revolves around not having sex, and the whole fetish crowds revolves around talking about sex and maybe having sex. And I don't think it leads to a balanced life. You need and I don't think there's a solution for it. you know, and I think that's what this movie's kind of touching on. You know, what's the answer? And it's like, what are we all looking for? At the end of the day, most of us are hoping to find a partner, life partner, make a household, etc. Doesn't always work out. That's usually the goal anyway. However, when you're a teenager, it's weird for humans. You're ramp full of every hormone on the planet. Anyone that remembers back that far, you know, and it all happens at once. It's not even a gradual process. It's a big just kicking in bits, and you're meant to just do all this stuff, and you become a mini psychopath for 5 years as a teenager, you know, and it just overrides your brain, and it's horrendous. I don't miss it. I like being an old man. It's actually it's quite cathartic being way the other side of all that shit. This kind of movies, I guess, that's why I'm not really a big fan of teen movies, because it's just so far removed from me, you know, and that's why movies like that aren't for me. Sorry, I'm drinking lots of fluids and that, but it's just to get the old funny mouth now because I've been talking constantly for nigh on 30 hours. But yeah, that whole how do you deal with this? How do you deal with teenage hormones? And they're almost saying, which I think has been proven anyway, that the whole abstinence thing doesn't work. It actually promotes, that's where most of the teenage pregnancies come from, because if nobody to talk to, they feel ashamed, so that the just go in with no protection or no thought, and then that's they get into trouble. But the fact that these sort of groups, that's all they talk about. You know what I mean? It's 100% their conversation. So you see it with these guys, they're hanging out and they're like, oh, we'll chaperone each other. It's always at the forefront of their mind. Is this pure? Is this right? And you're kind of like, you forget how to be people just hanging out. You know, when you're worrying about doing the right things, or that's the only thing, then that's where deviancy comes from, because you just get warped inside when that's all. So I don't think either side's good, and I don't like the other side of the coin either, because it's the same thing. It's the important thing as a young person is to learn to become a balanced human being and to find out who you are, and that's not easy. You know, and you're trying to fit your way in the world and all that kind of nonsense, and some people are faster than others. Some people peak early, so the big swinging dick at school level, leaving school, and then they're burnt out by 30. You know what I mean? And other people still grow and crack on with life. You know, there's no simple answer to life. And these movies, I think they kind of boil it down to, like, you know, flip a coin. It's one or the other, and it's like, nah. But what this boils down to is, you know, the pure cult. They're going swimming, and then Dawn realizes she likes one of the guys, Toby, and it's the forefront of her mind, and he wants to do it, and then that's where the violence scene comes in, because they go swimming on their own, and he, like, of course, has to go to the extremes. Like, he knocks her head against the rock. You know, you're like, you know, you're like, what the hell? That's kind of like not cool, like a lot. So he obviously forces himself on her, and then he gets yonk, and that's it. You know, game over. She then has to, you know, deal with this, you know, the horror of it, and because of the crowds she hangs around, like the purity crowd, she's nobody to talk to. She can't talk to her brother, she can't talk to her parents, her mother's become ill, so she can't talk to anybody. You know, and that's kind of being highlighted here, that if you have nobody to talk to, guess what? You're going to go down the wrong path. And once again, I'm not trying to say here's the answer, because I don't know. That's one of life's mysteries, and it's not the same for every person. And I think that's what we'll miss a lot of, is everyone's different. So Dawn's kind of trying to deal with this, that to the point where she's going to go to the police, because Todd's effectively went missing, but nobody's mentioning him, which is all very strange. It's like he disappeared, but nobody's talking about the acting as if he's hiding or still about, and you're like, yeah, okay. And I think that's one of the scenes in one of the clips that was always shown when she goes to the gynecologist to get checked out. That scene, so she does that. Once again, I don't know how I feel about that one because the gynecologist is doing his job. I don't know why he took his glove off. Like, he had gloves on and they were making him borderline sleazy about it, but then why? You know what I mean? Are you trying to have women afraid to go to the doctor? You know, because in the end, this is a young adult horror movie. You know, that's where it's aimed. It's not for old crusties like me, you know, people my age, because been around the block about 6 or 7 times, had a few car crashes along the way. So we're not getting anything from this sort of movie. Like I said, it's on the list. It's one I've always meant to visit. So here I am. They're trying to hint that it's the nuclear power plant as well. You know, they make the smokestacks like all as if it's a coal-fired nuclear power plant. It's very strange. So they're trying to subtly message that she's that, but then she goes and does some research, and this has always been a thing. It's a mutation that pops up through the ages, and they've got a name for it, and it serves a purpose, and it's all about what is it? Being, you know, need to be conquered by the right man sort of thing, and it's a defense mechanism and all this kind of stuff, and that's fair enough. Like I said, I think they just oversimplify it's almost like they are trying to tell you something, but they're doing it in such a ham-fisted way that it's not really landing. And this doesn't land as a comedy. There's a few sort of bits that make you chuckle briefly, but this is a serious movie. That's the thing. When you've got her dealing with her mother's illness and stuff, like, there's no laughs here. The scene with Toby, like, that's not comedic. You know, it's gnarly, it's nasty, you know, and it's breaking trust and all sorts of things, you know, it just shouldn't happen. So there's no comedy there. The scene with who's the wee nerd guy? Ryan, yeah. He just flips. he was being all sweet and nice. Then when he gets his own way, you know, turns into a psychopath because, yeah, teenage boy. But these are all pampered middle class sort of idiots. So you can't really, on the whole, feel sympathy for them because they're all, you know, they're never really going to face life. I think that's different from working class people. Working class people understand sort of, oh, if I do this, I'm screwed before I put a roof, you know, before you put a roof over your head, build something first, you know, because resources are limited. But when you're sitting in little pampered teen, yeah, it's a completely different experience. She always had it. It's you know, from a kid, she always had it. You know, it's just a thing, and it's a self-defense mechanism. Here, never peak. You know what I mean? If you haven't peaked yet, that means your trajectory's going that way. You know, what can I tell you? It's not a bad direction to be going. Right. So yeah, this stuff all kind of plays out. But like I said, it's there are dark undertones of this. They're trying to make it like a slasher goofy comedy, but it's not. Like, the subject matter is too serious to be messing about with. And her sort of coming into her power, you know, understanding what she is, and it's when she thought Ryan like really liked her and she found a partner, you know, she relaxed, nothing happened. But then when he betrayed her, you know, being a dick, it comes back. So then she's almost learning to control things, you know. Yeah, and that's it. Her mother passes away and she leaves town, and then she finally gets her revenge on Brad because she finds out that Brad just let her mother die. So she deals with Brad and sails off into the sunset, and then we'll have a creepy old man giving her a lift. So it's sort of saying that she's going to be like some sort of feminine avenging angel of the vagina order. It's impossible. Like, it's not there's nothing fun about it, and it's a subject you don't make light of. Like, you don't. Last thing you tell teens is that's okay. That's not the message out there. Fucking, like, don't do it. Like, there's more than enough options. Even if you think you're socially awkward and ugly, there's more than enough options out there. Pet options. You can save up. And have a professional take care of you. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be high end. It can be a massage parlor. There's strip bars. If you need to get your rocks off, you can get sorted out. And even if you can't, there's the internet, and you can DIY to your heart's content. And there's more than enough toys and gizmos out there now, and ointments, and VR headsets. And I think one day I will invent the Wankatron 3000. I just say connect the flashlight to the VR set, and you never leave your bedroom again. I mean, there's enough options out there, especially today's age. There's no reason for it. The only reason is you're a dick and you want to destroy someone. I mean, there's no excuse. On the flip side, there's no excuse either to be making false accusations. It's one of those, I don't understand. That's the weird thing about sex when you talk about it. It's such a powerful motivator, and it can flip from love to hatred and brief, with hormones and stuff. That's why it'll always be the seller of stuff. That's why it'll always be a focus of horror. It's part of it's how we propagate as a species. But we as the humans have turned it into, because of the way our lizard brains work, we've turned it into something else. And that's where it all gets warped, and that's where things go wrong. And yeah, all you can just say is be careful out there. And what's the old thing? Knock one out before you go on a date. Get out of your system so you're not having your friggin' brain full of shite. There you go. Don't know. It felt like this isn't one you can laugh at or talk about. It's just one of them subjects. You have to tread carefully, and much as life, it's one of them. Electric problems, and don't want to talk about it because I'm sick of hiding the bodies. Dear. Yeah. There you go. That was a nice happy movie to talk about. That's what get there. God. Yeah. What do you think of this movie? Have you seen it? I'd be really interested. Obviously, be respectful in the comments. Like I said, it's not a nice subject to be playing around with. It's a strange movie. It's one of them one-offs, like there'll never be a Teeth 2. There's no reason to make a sequel. There's no reason to remake this. This is just one of those out there movies that happened. It was a concept. It was played with, and I think even the writers will realize it's not one you can mess around with. It's just one of those, like, once the first incident happened, where can you go with this? It's one of them, sort of, it's one singular idea of an incident and not really much else you can do. So there you go. That was that then. That was number 18. What do we got next? What do we have? We have the Jack in the Box. Right then. That's what we're doing next. So good old possession demon monster movie. Why not? That'll be fun. Possessed items. Love them. So I'm going to get that fired up now. I'll do that next. So it just leaves me this. I'm saying so a lot. That's straight. My brain's gone. Keep up the channel. Do the type of things. Until next time, keep it creepy. Keep it horrific.